Hello, and thank you for participating in the Bureau of Elections training webinar. Before we begin, I would like to go over some housekeeping items. We encourage you to submit your questions in the chat at any time during the presentation, as we will sort and organize similar questions so we can get through as many as possible. If you see that your question has already been asked in the chat, please feel free to like the question to help us know which questions are impacting a broader group of participants. If for some reason we are not able to address every question, or if your question is so unique to your specific circumstances, please email us at mdos-campaignfinance@michigan.gov. And lastly, this webinar is being recorded and will be put on our Campaign Finance homepage so you can review it at your own pace, or for those who could not attend today's training. We're excited to present to you the new Michigan Transparency Network, also known as Mitten, which is a one-stop platform for Michigan residents and the regulated community to find, prepare, and submit filings and disclosure reports from public officers, lobbyists, candidates, and other committee types registered at the state level. This system has a multiple of modules: campaign finance disclosure, personal finance disclosure, a casino interest registration, and legal defense funds. Please note that in today's webinar, we will only focus specifically on campaign finance related functions of the new Mitten system. This training is not intended to be an exhaustive training on the Michigan Campaign Finance Act or on the campaign finance rules in general. A similar training will be held once at a later date. We are going to cover a lot in today's training, and the topics will include how to set up and navigate to MiLogin to access your Mitten dashboard, then how to add Mitten to your MiLogin dashboard. We will then walk you through how to use the Mitten Campaign Finance platform to request access to an existing committee. We'll show you how to enter transactions onto your campaign finance statements. And finally, how to view, submit, and amend your filings. At the end, we will go through a series of questions and answers to hopefully answer as many questions as we can. Please also be aware that MiLogin is a statewide platform through DTMB and is not a product of or part of the Bureau of Elections' new Mitten platform. MiLogin does have their own help desk line. Please use the number provided on this screen for guidance. There are two MiLogin portals. The Citizen portal is used for individuals working with a committee, while MiLogin for Business is used for businesses who provide campaign finance filing services who have employees that may need to utilize an MiLogin for Business. This system is best used for firms filing on behalf of multiple committees. Or, if you are an out-of-state individual, you will need to use MiLogin for Business platform to log in. There might be some specific scenarios where an individual who is a Michigan citizen might choose for their own personal reasons to use MiLogin Business to access Mitten instead of their MiLogin Citizen. Most individuals will likely want to choose the MiLogin for Citizen since they may already have one set up from renewing their driver's license online or their new plate tab. This will be the best option for the majority of people who will not need to set up anything new and will not have to worry about potentially having two different accounts or platforms to keep track of. If you are a business, the system will allow you to set up the MiLogin for Business. But if you do this and you also have an MiLogin Citizen account, you'll need to understand that you cannot go back and forth between the portals to access Mitten. Mitten will see you as a different entity with each portal. We strongly recommend that individuals in Michigan use the MiLogin Citizen portal to avoid potential confusion. This is the screen you will see once you have created your MiLogin account and you are signed in with your username and password. This is your MiLogin dashboard. If you've previously used MiLogin to access other state services, you might see some application links that are already populated on the left-hand side of the dashboard. But it could also be blank on the left and showing only Discover Online Services box to the right if you've just created your MiLogin account. The first time a Mitten filer visits the MiLogin home screen, they will need to place a link to Mitten on this MiLogin dashboard. As mentioned, the steps to add Mitten link are the same, whether you are using MiLogin for Citizen or for Business. You begin by clicking on Find Services to the right, shown circled. On this screen, there are two ways to search for the Mitten application. First, you can see the Search for Services box. Begin typing Michigan Transparency Network until you see the results appear below the box, then select from the drop-down list. The other way to search is scrolling down the screen under Filter by Department. You may have to scroll a bit to find it. Then once located, check the box Michigan Secretary of State. You should now see on the right side a list of online services available by the Department of State. Locate and click on Michigan Transparency Network, Mitten. Read and agree the terms and conditions, then click Request Service. You'll be instructed to complete the two-factor authorization step to verify your MiLogin credentials, which will be based on whatever method of authorization you set up when creating your MiLogin account. Continue with verifying your authorization. You will only see this page when you are connecting to Mitten for the first time with your MiLogin dashboard. Even though the message makes it seem like you'll need to wait for an email to arrive before you can move on, an email is already sent once you have clicked the Continue button. You can continue without waiting. Then you can finish the one remaining step that you will need to get into Mitten. Click Continue to move on. The system has automatically brought you back to your MiLogin dashboard. Notice how now when you look at the left side of your dashboard, you can see the Michigan Transparency Network. This link is now permanently anchored. You will then need to log back into Mitten. Click Mitten to proceed. MiLogin will always make you agree to the terms and conditions each time you're on the platform. You will also need to provide your two-factor authentication for security purposes. Check the I agree box and click Launch Service and provide your two-factor authentication. This is your sign-on screen. The sign-on step is one of the last steps needed to complete the setup. Click Sign On to continue. Welcome. You are now inside the Mitten platform. From now on, the Mitten link will always be visible on your MiLogin dashboard, and you'll only ever need to click on the Mitten link to log in, as it will take you straight to the Mitten homepage. If you are also a lobbyist or lobbyist agent, you may see both the lobby and campaign finance modules. Be sure to select campaign finance to continue with entering your campaign finance activity. Let's click Committee to get started. This is your Mitten campaign finance landing page. It will provide you with a list of every committee that you are associated with. Do not panic when you do not see your committee or committees listed. You must request access to the committee first. There are two functions on this screen. The home icon is used to redirect you back to the main Mitten dashboard. This will allow you to either leave the campaign finance module completely, or it can be helpful for individuals who handle other modules such as lobby or personal financial disclosure. The other is a Request Access Create New Committee button. Here's where you'll start requesting access to the committee you are working with, or if you have a new committee that you would like to create. We will need to find the existing committee that we are associated with in order to establish our relationship with the committee. Let's get started. On the steps to request access to an already existing committee, select the button Request Access Create New Committee. Your first question is, has a statement of organization for your committee been previously submitted? This is just confirming that your committee has already been created and on file with the Bureau of Elections. Since we are seeking access to an existing committee, we will select Yes from the drop-down menu. Select Save and Next to proceed. Please note, clicking Exit will not save your data entry and exit out of the wizard. Let's start by entering at least the first 3 characters of the committee's name or the candidate's name in the search field. Common names will appear in search results. If your initial typing yields too many results, such as Smith, enter additional letters to narrow your results. The committee lookup will populate the name of the committee's matching records to your entry. When you have found your committee's name, select the name record from the drop-down list. Then click Save and Next to proceed. This next screen allows you to assign your role type to the committee. There are 2 role types in Mitten. You can either be an official committee member, such as the treasurer, record keeper, or candidate of a candidate committee, or the other role is a committee data entry person. Both roles have different permissions. An official committee member will have the ability to enter data as well as submit the statements, whereas a data entry person will only be allowed to enter data and will not have the ability to submit statements. After making your selection, select Save and Next to proceed. Depending on your selection and choosing the role that matches the relationship as it is reflected on the current statement of organization, additional information may be required. Please make sure your committee statement of organization is up to date. If you are an official committee member, please enter your address information. The phone number is not required. Notice the email address is automatically populated to match the email used in MiLogin. This is a safeguard protection feature. No one else will be allowed to use this unless they have logged into MiLogin with your email address and information. This is also a good example of why it's important that all users in Mitten always log into the system using their own MiLogin. This new Mitten system does not allow users to log in under shared emails or passwords. If your role type is committee data entry, you will not need to add the address information. Click Save and Next to proceed. Next, you'll need to click the Generate S of O button to generate the statement of organization. This will generate an amended statement of organization. Once you click on Generate S of O, a new browser will appear displaying your statement of organization. Review for accuracy. Then download and save the document. Next, print and sign if a signature is required. If you are an official committee member, such as treasurer or record keeper, and there are no changes to the existing statement of organization, a signed copy does not need to be sent to the Bureau of Elections. However, the generated statement of organization must still be uploaded to complete the submission. Some changes may require a signature, such as a new treasurer or record keeper. Now close the tab for the statement of organization and return back to Mitten. Next, attach the statement of organization in the document upload field. Check the box to certify that you have completed the request for access to the committee and the information you have entered is truthful and accurate. Then click Submit to send the request for access. BOE staff will review the request daily. Once you have verified that the requested rules align with the statement of organization, we will approve or deny the request accordingly. Committees, however, will have the ability to approve those assigned as data entry. Once approved, you will see the name of the committee in the committee screen. After access has been granted, you can start entering your financial activity. Click your committee name to continue. When you select the committee name and you've been granted access, you'll be presented with the view of your committee's information as well as additional tabs at the top of the screen. If you do not see the tabs as shown, this means you have not been granted access at this time. Each tab has a different use. The Address tab will show the information entered when setting up the committee, such as the committee mailing address, street address, treasurer record keeper, and official depository. The Amend SFO tab will show all amended statement of organizations submitted by the committee, as well as allow you to create another amended statement of organization if needed. The Contacts tab is used to enter all committee contact information. This includes contributors, vendors, campaigns, etc. Campaigns allows you to create candidate campaigns as well as ballot proposals. Fundraiser tab will allow you to list your fundraising events held by your committee. Filing is where you will create new statements as well as show all statements created or submitted by your committee. Notifications tab will display any notifications communicated with the Bureau of Elections. Fees will show all late fees owed by the committee. A future enhancement will allow committees to now pay their late fees online. The All Transactions tab will allow the committee to search for specific transactions. Summary Preview will preview the summary of the committee's financial activity. And lastly, the Access tab will show the users who are requesting access to the committee, such as data entry, treasurer, and record keeper. As mentioned, the Contacts tab is used to enter all committee contact information. This will again include contributors, vendors, financial institutions, campaigns, and so on. You can enter the contact individually or use our import feature to import your contacts and save data entry time. This file can be an export from your existing MERTS file. Please see instructions provided on our website for importing contacts. There are 4 main contact types in Mitten: state-level committees, or other organizations, individual, and anonymous. State-level committees are all committees required to register with the Bureau of Elections. Other organizations are vendors, financial institutions, county and local committees, corporations, and domestic dependent sovereigns. Individuals are, of course, candidates and individual contributors. There's a section for anonymous. Although it is prohibited to receive anonymous contributions, if a contribution was received and the individual's information was not provided, the committee must still report the anonymous contribution as received and donate to a tax-exempt charitable organization. Please see Section 41 of the Michigan Campaign Finance Act for additional information on anonymous contributions. In the Contacts field, please enter all the required information and click Save to continue. As mentioned, the Campaigns tab will be used to report contributions or expenditures to other committees. There are 2 different types of campaigns. Candidates, which are candidates that are state, county, and local levels. Ballot question committees, such as state, county, and local ballot proposals. Enter all the required information and click Save to continue. The Fundraiser tab is required for fundraising events held by your committee. If your committee holds a fundraising event, please enter all the required information and click Save to continue. Creating the contacts, campaigns, and fundraisers ahead of time will be helpful as the information will be accessible as you are entering in transactions. Now let's get started on creating our first statement. Let's click on the Filing tab, then New Filing. In this next screen, you will add the statement information. There are three options for document type. You can create a new campaign statement, such as the annual, July, October, or even a dissolution statement. A correspondence in is used if you need to submit documentation or clarification on any correspondence to the Bureau of Elections that is not a campaign statement. You can also submit immediate disclosure reports. But for now, let's click on campaign statement as the document type. As you can see, I have started with the 2025 July statement, as it will be the next statement due for candidate committees. Other committee types, such as PACs and ballot questions, will have the April statement to file. Enter the statement year and the start date of the coverage period. Then click Save and Next to proceed. As we're going through the steps of creating our new filing, you will see a timeline at the top of the screen. This will help give you a visual of the next steps. Verify the statement of organization you have entered is correct and select Save and Next to continue. You will see there's an importing feature that we will provide a separate training for, as training is a bit more complex and may not apply to everyone. Click Save and Next to proceed. The first transaction type on our little roadmap is receipts. This includes all incoming transactions from direct contributions, other receipts, loans, and in-kind contributions. To start entering receipts, select Add Receipts. This is the new receipt entry window. Here is where you will identify the type of receipt, add a new contact record, or select an existing contact. Has already been created, you can search your list by typing the name in the name field. Select the results of the contact record. If there's a new contact, click Create Contact to create a new contact record. Select Save and Next to proceed. The receipt category will display a list of all incoming receipts in the Mitten system. Definitions on specific receipt types can be found in the committee manuals on our website. For training purposes, we are going to enter a direct contribution. Now that we have the name selected, let's continue with entering in the rest of the required information. Choose the date the contribution was received, and please note the date of the contribution must be within the same coverage period of this campaign statement. After selecting the name of the contribution, enter the amount and the description. Then click Save and Next to proceed. We've created our first direct contribution. After saving your entry, you will return to your list of receipts. As you continue to enter your receipts, you will see them all listed in the bottom of the screen. To enter additional receipts, click Add Receipts to continue. But before we move on to expenditures, let's create a loan. Click Add Receipts. Now select Direct Contribution Loan from the drop-down menu. An example of a loan would be a candidate loaning money to their committee with the intentions of being reimbursed. Enter the contact name in the search box or create a new contact. After selecting the contact name from the search box, next enter the required information such as the date, amount, and description of the loan. Click Save and Next to save your entry and continue. Once saved properly, the loan will be added to your receipt list. Just like in MIRTS, the loan will appear on the debts and obligations screen until the debts have been paid in full or forgiven, if applicable. Now let's take a look at how we enter an expenditure. Click Expense on the timeline at the top of the menu. Then click Add Expenses. The expense screen will look similar to the receipt screen. It will have a section for the type of expenditure, name, date, amount, and description. Now let's create a direct expenditure by selecting the Expense category drop-down menu. Click the search icon to search for an existing contact, or click Create Contact to enter a new record. Enter the date, amount, and description of your expense. Please note, like in MIRTS, the Type drop-down menu is not a required field. However, description is a required field explaining the expenditure. All required fields must be entered to continue. Click Save and Next to proceed. Just like the receipt screen, you will see a list of all of your expenses. Transactions can be modified by clicking on the transaction as long as the transactions have not been submitted. So we have entered in a direct contribution, a direct loan, and a direct expenditure. Now let's enter a loan payment to our existing loan. In the expenses section, let's add a new expense by clicking Add Expense. Select Direct Expenditure -debt/loan repayment from the expense category to start applying your payment. Then select Specific Loan to record the payment. Indicate whether you will be making a payment to the loan or forgiving the loan by selecting the Yes or No option in the drop-down menu. Since we are making a partial payment to the loan, we will select No. Continue entering the additional required information such as the date, amount, and description. The Type section is a list of different expenditures. This is not a required field. The description field is required. Select Save to retain your entry and apply the payment. You should now see the expenditure on your list of expenses showing the loan payment. Now that we have entered all of our activity for this reporting period, we are closer to submitting our statement. Before you submit your statement, be sure to go through your timeline of entries to verify all records have been entered. After you have reviewed your entries, click Exit to exit the wizard and go back to the committee's dashboard. Don't forget to take a quick peek at your summary preview to verify the activity for this reporting period. Please note, although the summary page is a bit different than MIRTS, we are dedicated to improving the readability in the future. After you have double-checked and triple-checked your entries, now you can finally submit your statement. Click the Filing tab, then select the statement you wish to submit. You will notice the date received and status will let you know if the statement is still in draft or has been submitted. The last step before submitting your statement is looking at the summary of the statement you are filing. Here is where you will verify again the correct statement type, coverage period, and indicate if you want to itemize your expenditures. If everything is accurate, check the box I certify that all reasonable diligence was used in preparation of the above form. Then submit filing. A message will appear in the top left corner showing the results of your submission. Congratulations, you've submitted your first filing statement. In the committee's dashboard, click Filing. You should see the two tabs Draft and Submitted. The Draft tab will show a list of statements that are still in draft mode and have not been submitted yet. The Submitted tab will show any and all statements that have been filed by the committee. If you receive correspondence from our office for clarification or additional information on your statement that requires an amendment, start by going to the Filing tab and click Submitted. Select the statement you need to amend. Click the Amend button on the left side of your screen. A message will appear asking if you are sure you want to amend your statement. Select Yes to continue. You will see the document type now indicates that this is an amended campaign statement. Select Save and Next to proceed. If, for example, you forget to add a contribution, click the Receipt section of the timeline, then Add Receipts. Add the new receipt, then click Save to save your new entry. Your new entry will appear in your list of receipts. Be sure to review your entries and follow the same steps used for filing your original statements. Click the summary on the timeline and review the amended statement information. Check the certification box, then submit filing. And now you have successfully submitted your amended statement. In the training, I will go over some of the frequently asked questions we received during today's training. Which system will be used for the April filing? Mitten is now the single system used for campaign finance filings. Can MIRTS be used in April? No, Mitten can only be used at this point. Can Mitten be used to amend filings done in MIRTS? Yes. You can go in and still amend your statements that have been filed using the MIRTS software. Requesting access. How long after submitting the statement of organization does it take to access as a treasurer? I do not see the tabs for the treasurer functions. Bureau of Elections is approving access daily. As the filing deadline approaches, it may take longer to review requests and approve them. The roles within Mitten and MiLogin. If you have a designated role with the committee, you should use the citizen login, correct? Yes, that is correct. Ballot question committee uses which sign-in? The type of login is determined by the user. If you are acting as a treasurer record keeper as part of your employment, you may wish to use the MiLogin for business. Importing data into Mitten. If using outside software, will the same process with MIRTS where files has to be downloaded from the software and uploaded into Mitten? That process will change quite a bit. Due to the modern security standards and the number of third-party software packages being used, filers will need to export their transactions out of their software and import into Mitten. A training on process is coming. You are also welcome to email the Bureau of Elections and we can talk you through that process. Have MIRTS statements and filings already been imported into Mitten? Yes, but other information has not been transferred. Because contacts are stored in your PC, those will need to be imported for future use. You can also import transactions if any activity has been loaded into MIRTS after July 31st report. Can contacts be inputted from NGP? Yes, contacts from NGP can be imported into Mitten. We are currently working with all vendors to assist them in creating export files so they can be imported into Mitten. This will also be available for transactions and reports. Additional training materials will be available shortly. Please offer training on importing NGP. I've never used MIRTS directly other than uploading the NGP file. This training wasn't helpful for duplicating what I currently drew. That training will be forthcoming. Will there be a complete draft report of the statement? While transactions are available for view, that function is currently being added with the intent to be done prior to the filing deadline. The full statement will be available to filers as well as the public search. Statement of organization. If there are no changes to the statement of organization, we just have to upload it, correct? That is correct. Does the Mitten generated SFO process replace the older web-based processes? Yes, it does replace the old SFO process. Additional information. Are there instructions on how to export information from MIRTS and import into Mitten? Yes, that information can be found on our campaign finance page. I hope you enjoyed today's training. As with any new software or program, it may seem very overwhelming in the beginning. Rest assured, we will be here with you every step of the way. Our analysts are available to assist you in learning the new program and successfully filing your statements. Contact us via phone or email. Our manuals and other documentation can be found on our website. Thank you.